Ruined it. Hey everybody, welcome to the Muppet Show tonight. Special guest is El Pavate. Yeah!
Please stop calling me that. I wish I never chose that name. Man like football, should have just put that. That would have worked better.
Fair play. It is, of course, Andy McGregor.
XG bitch.
Yeah,
called it.
I don't. You're obsessed with
Bitch
XG.
is not a swear word.
No, I'm not saying swear.
He said itch, you dropped the B. Fair play to him.
It's the name of a dog.
Hello, everybody. We are here. Jay Muncie in at number 1, Gary Ward, Chen La all saying hello. And Chen La's gone old school. Hello, Gary. Haven't had hello, Gary for a while.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Okay. RCO2 says, lads, we need to get Baku and Bailey. Both had 15 goals for this team.
Double B's.
Isn't that a night TV drama?
It'd be good, that, on a Sunday night at detective.
Starring 2 female detectives,
Yeah.
one slightly unsure of what she sexuality is. Just saying.
Balancing the act, yeah.
Adam Conroy says, hey guys, how are you? Gareth Hughes says, YouTubers, get over to Patreon, get loads of great content, and this month's special offer is a welcome message from Gary Ward, totally free.
So you're saying that someone advertises better than you?
They advertise us better than we do.
Yeah,
Max says, Baku Bailey and a centre midfield player with legs.
Well,
it's preferable, isn't it? It is preferable.
Okay.
To what we have at the moment, because we have centre midfield players. Without Decore, we don't have any real legs, do we? Really?
No. Not much more to add than that.
There isn't. Where are we? Let's get into this. Sophie Gallagher, evening lads, gutted. It looks like we're not getting Aaron's. He was the one I wanted.
Why? Why does it look
just
like...
Stop, let me just say
Why
this.
Does it look like
there's a lot of nonsense in the press all the time. Fans really need to stop biting with press. I know it's exciting, don't be wrong, when they do that, but there's a lot of poker goes involved. Actually, people have been into clubs and the press doesn't even know about it. Wait till they're in the blue shirt.
Also, if everyone thinks Everton are desperate to sign Aaron's, then Norwich will be like, yeah, we're not letting them go.
It's called leverage, yeah. It's the same with Keane. That's why we're putting the feelers out. We want 55 million or whatever.
To be fair,
it's all about leverage.
Baz sent me a video last night of Bill Kenwright saying we're still very close to getting Mathew. So
that was an interesting bit.
Did you see him in the brown envelopes, pennies of Harvey?
He's like the
pennies on the plane, lads.
When you actually watched that minute,
that's the one the press know about. But there's many more that the press.
Do you think Evan are aware now it's like where the Ark of the Covenant's held and where there's just players that we were trying to sign over the years, examined by top people?
Who knows?
It is an incredible video.
It is.
Watch this space.
It's brilliant.
Just watch this space.
So Sophie, just
chill your beans.
Just see what happens. If Everton don't get Aaron's, it's because they've identified someone else who they think is better.
This time last year, we were 100% signing Gabriel. 100% signing him. And stuff happens.
Right, do you remember Joshua Xerxes, the player that Everton was already in blue and he played his first game?
Yeah.
There's not even a bid for him, so let's just
You've
relax.
just got to leave it and go see what happens.
The agents and the clubs are all working against each other in tandem. It's
poker, isn't it?
Machinations, yeah. There's a lot of different machinations.
Cam's in the comments. Mighty Blues, yes, fellas, how are we? Good, mate. Good.
By the way, Cam, if you want to say hello in Tesco, you're more than welcome to. I didn't see you. So
he was
lurking
behind a very, very thin post.
Snackerjack eye like that.
Very thin post. You're intimidating.
Thank you. I'm as good as you are in a church, my friend.
Albie says hello. How are we? Where are we?
Do you have to take him home last night, Cam, all the way home?
No.
To the door? Did his mum come out and say thanks?
He's a good lad. He got up and got on the bus.
Come out and go, thanks, Barry.
But you can take him home because he lives about 5 minutes from you. Sam Clegg says, I'm going to say no, but I'll ask Andy.
Go on.
All right, lads, would any of you go for Sander Berge?
I like Sander Berge, but I don't think he's got the required legs that we need. I think the issue is he wants to play in defensive midfield, and I think Wilder didn't think he quite had the legs for there, and he preferred Norwood there. So no.
That Sheffield United team is probably the only relegated team I've seen for about 20 years, but I wouldn't not have a single player. There's no. Someone asked me the other day. I think I was doing a live on Friday on my own, and someone asked me, and I could pick players from Fulham, I could pick players from West Brom, but I couldn't bring myself to get anybody from that Sheffield United team.
The best
there's only the centre back.
Jack O'Connell.
The other one.
Chris Basham.
Yeah. No.
John Egan.
Egan
Egan's
was the only one I think I mentioned.
Dave, the reserve team manager. No, he's I think the best player is Dave McGoldrick, and he's 33, so I don't think really there's much to choose from.
Although I was enticed by Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Yorkshire.
Sean Bean.
What about
Dies early though.
Have you ever seen that film, by the way, when Saturday comes?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Like, it's a bit weird the way he seems to drink his way through trials though.
It is weird also that they played the semi-final of the FA Cup at the
Bramall
home
Lane,
ground.
There you
It
go.
was a big stadium.
What's your
I guess.
favourite football film?
It's either that or Jimmy Grimble.
Jimmy
Grimble's a
Grimble is amazing, and yet it's not on anywhere. No stream. I mean, I've got it on DVD, but no streaming site has it, and it's amazing.
Can I just say to you something?
Go on.
Give it to bloody Gordon.
Give it a go.
Give it to bloody Gordon.
got
It's
to be Mike
amazing.
Bassett?
It's an
Give it to bloody
amazing
Gordon.
film, isn't it?
Mike
And that,
Bassett.
I don't think that lad's ever been in anything else either. I think they got him because he looked slightly like Wayne Rooney.
The second greatest football film ever is Kez, because the teacher
No, I
thinks
don't
he's
like
Bobby
Kez.
Charlton.
I
It's
don't
not a
like
nice film,
Kez.
don't be wrong, but
No, I don't like Kez. It's grim.
yeah, it's grim. But
Skate to victory.
It's dead
I
sad,
enjoyed
isn't
him
it?
on the post.
Skate to victory.
John Walker in midfield.
Yeah,
Russell
John
Osman
Walker,
right
Russell
back.
Osman, mate. Classic.
Skate to victory is amazing.
classic.
The first goal isn't bad as well.
It's amazing.
You know, if goal never got brought out, Callum Wilson would never.
Yeah,
come to
there's one
Newcastle.
for you. There's actually a player now plays in Mexico's 18 called Santiago Muniz. True
Fair
story.
play. You're never going to beat... It wasn't a film, but you're never going to beat Dream Team. I'm sorry.
Harchester United. Monday Bandili.
Liverpool signed a
Luis
sign.
Rodriguez,
Liverpool
Lamar
signed a
Rodriguez.
sign. Baptiste, Didier Baptiste.
Mean Machine, Vinny.
And Janse, Texas.
And the answer.
Mean
Thanks, Vinny.
Machines was an American football film. That
Dream
got,
Team was great.
got moved over.
Wasn't it? Linda
It was
Block.
alright.
It was good though, because Danny the Limper, played by Danny Dyer,
Danny
was
Dyer.
a terrible character,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Funny.
Absolutely
I
classic.
mean, I don't think you'd ever beaten Josh's Giants
No.
because it was.
What about the one with
Jossie's
Robert
Giant.
Duval in it? Ali McCoy, what was that called?
Yeah, remember that one in Scotland and Robert Duval was in it. Incredible.
Incredible scenes.
Amazing.
Let's go,
Eugene
Jossie
Davis says, who do you think
Giants.
goes out of Holgate, Keane, Gibson and Mina?
Keane, I pray, leaves Everton Football Club, and Lewis Gibson won't make it.
No.
Not a chance.
It's too late for him, yeah.
What do you think of that? Out of those four, who can you see? Who do you think could go out of them? Holgate, Keane, Gibson and Mina?
The most sellable probably is probably Mason Holgate because he's younger.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe I don't know if the club would sell him. I don't know. You probably sell Mina and Keane. It just Everton have probably got high values on both. So it's probably easy to sell Holgate for 25, 30 million. I guess. I don't think he's worth that much, but
I think Keane, you get a good. You get a
it
decent,
depends who it is.
No, but I think you get a decent price for Keane this year because I think this is because he signed the contract last year.
27,
I think
yeah.
this is his last big opportunity because I still think he's got. People would still look at him and think, oh, is he and isn't he an England squad player? You know, people would still look at him, and
It's a pity Marino's gone because he wanted him.
The issue
This summer.
he may.
I think Bailey might take him.
Would he go to a Palace?
Got no money,
If
has
Sean
he?
Dyche moves to Palace,
I think
would
though.
he be there?
Yeah.
What about if Bailey sell?
He's an northern lad. That's
Tarkowski.
the issue here. He's not like a.
No.
If he was a southern lad going back, then you might go yeah, but he's not. He's a Manchester lad, isn't he? I don't know. I think Mina. I don't know what Mina's market is really. It's very difficult to gauge whatMina's market is. I think it's Italian.
Mina's market should be
Spain,
First
isn't
team centre back.
first team centre back, really.
Yeah.
With Godfrey, that's what Mina's market should be.
Yeah.
But
You can't
great.
fix every problem in the summer. You just can't.
No. Joe Mack says, would you rather win the Champions League as a player or a manager? Player, surely.
Well, consider I'm too old now. I'd be a manager. There's still a chance, I guess.
You never know.
You never know.
It'd be a player,
Sarri
though.
got into football later than me. Go on.
It'd be a player, though, wouldn't it? If you'd
I
have
think
to choose.
contributing on the pitch is what the real.
Yeah, and feeling them emotions because you can change the game where when you're sat on the side.
I'd be like George Weahs.
Pochettino looked like that last night, didn't he? Pochettino sat down on the bench last night and just went, what else do you want me to do?
Spam
You're running
His
around.
team is a dick.
You're running around.
Moments of luck, Champions League.
But they were all running around kicking
He's
hell out
had
of
a
it.
first season like Carlo had. You know, I think when Carlo went to PSG, they were top at Christmas after Cumbore left. And then it just seemed to fall apart because they got a new manager. I think Pochettino will be better next. Well, he hopes he'll be better next season.
The irony about PSG is that when we've said this for years, they need the Super League more than anyone because they just don't get the competition enough. So I think where they get to games like that, and they really need to go up a level.
They seem to have gone up a level the last 2 years. To be
No,
fair
I know
to
they
them.
have. I know they have. But what I mean is that they are now getting to the semi-finals. Obviously, last year they got to the final, but they're not getting that competition enough. And I know there's an eye in that because they're not top of the French league, but they don't get that competition week in and week out.
Regular, isn't it? It's what Bayern Munich suffered with.
I
And
also
still-
don't think they're as well run as like a City. They both obviously got a mass amount of money. City seem to. I know City don't like bring a lot of youngsters because of the quality of the squad, but Paris Saint-Germain have let some real great players
that,
go.
isn't it? It's Leonardo.
Well, yeah, because
he's not on the same page as the managers. He's never. Whereas City is all geared for Pep, isn't it? Clearly, it's all. You said before they went in a year before.
Yeah,
didn't
and start
went in
changing
a year before, got his men to tempt them to come back from New York, and PSG don't seem to. See, if I was PSG, I'd have been years ago. Would have been knocking the door down for Wenger and saying, "This is
that's
all,
what they should have done." Yeah,
this is all set up.
Still get him now.
Yeah,
I would as well. You could transform the club.
But that's what I'm saying. No, you go
this football.
This is all set up for you to do what you want. I know it's a bit late now.
17th, what, 2-3.
The way directing it though.
Maybe he writes a better book and get me money back after that awful attempt last time. Don't buy his book, by the way. Woeful. It really upset me that.
Buy his book if you want. Yeah. There's some kind of legal
There's also other books available. It's good stories.
The opinions of Andrew McGregor don't necessarily reflect the opinions of
I was just disappointed. I loved Arsene Wenger and the book was really light on detail. There's not one bit like tidbit that you go, oh my God, it's amazing that,
Mad.
Yeah, I've read a few.
Grey Lead says, Bars have been battered in AC Valhalla recently and I'm loving it. Got Ranvi and Petter on the go.
AC Valhalla away?
Yeah, away. At the same time, I'm having a blast riding around on my giant white dire wolf. It's addictive. Yeah, it's boss.
It's a tricky one, that. AC Valhalla away.
Yeah,
it's
right.
a tough one.
Referees
Can you go there on a Tuesday night?
It's a difficult one. RCO2 says, imagine if we went from Coleman, who doesn't score or assist anymore, to a Wobie who doesn't do either, going to like Baku and Bailey who contribute.
Well, that's what you need to improve, don't you? And don't get me wrong, I don't think Everton can go out and buy the best two right back and right wing in the league. If they both improve the positions by 50%, Everton will be a much better team.
Definitely. Ice D Kings says, thoughts on Tony?
Ivan Toney. I'm a big fan of Ivan Toney. I was talking to you the other night, wasn't I, Buzz? I think he's a good player.
25 though.
Yeah, it's a good age. I think it's a good age. I think I think if he was coming as a backup to Dom, I think he could rest some minutes off Dom because they're a bit different. I think Tony can play with the ball at his feet more than Dom. I think he's a better passer than Dom. A little bit more composed. I think Dom's a much better athlete, much better holding the ball up. Will Ivan come up and score goals? That's the big question. You never know, I guess.
Could he play? I don't think he can, but could he play in one of the wide positions?
Nah, I wouldn't play him. He's a striker.
Because then, that's where I look at it and I go, Everton won't get him.
No, we don't want. You can't spend 35, 40 million on a backup striker when you've got real other positions that are really wanting. You've got to distribute your money, smartly, really.
So is it more important for you then to pick up a winger than a centre forward?
Yes, because of balance and pace. Yeah, I think you don't want if you had 11 best players, you don't want the 11th best player on the bench. You want them starting. We need 11 good starters before we get quality bench players. That's just the way it has to go.
What do we do then for you with the centre forward then? Because if we're saying
we have to get someone,
spend 30 million on
King's not going to stay.
No.
So you look at who's there's not really a lot free. There's Rafael Santos-Borri from River Plate. Whether he's the right level, it's a question mark. Then you're starting to look at your 15 to 20 million range. There's a couple of people. Edouard's available from Celtic.
I honestly think we'd kick ourselves if we don't get Tony. You've got this.
Yeah.
I've got this feeling about him. He's going to
be.
And he's a good player, and I've just got this feeling about him.
So what do Everton do then?
Well, I don't know because
unless they've got money to spend, it's very difficult.
I think you could afford. I think if you get a right back who is what we really need.
So instead of buying Aarons, you're saying like spend 15, 20 million on a right back who's good.
No, I'm saying buy a top class right back.
Okay.
And that might dispense with having a winger. And therefore you buy Tony. But that's the flip of the coin, isn't it? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you're not, got to balance if we haven't got this ability to go out there and spend all this money.
The issue then is I suppose you could play a 4-3-3 with
then you got to make
Richarlison and 3 centre forwards.
Then you got to make your mind up on what Richarlison is. That's what you've got to do. You've got to make your mind up on what he is. Is he going to play off the striker? Or is he going to play wide?
I'd play him wide. If it's best for Everton, he plays wide. At the end of the day, the player's preference or best. As long as we get 10 goals out of him wide,
don't get me wrong. We need all three positions.
Yeah,
we right back, a winger, and a centre forward. There's no argument with that.
We can make a step forward this summer. We're not going to be able to build a championship winning side in one summer, though. It's going to take time. We're not going to get rid of every player we don't like either.
What about selling a Michael Keane or a Mason Holgate, but not replacing them? Making Gerard Brandt with your backup centre back.
I don't think there's enough quality then. If Mina got injured, you're left with Godfrey Holgate and Branthwaite. Is that good
No,
enough?
but we've been playing without meaning anyway.
No, I know, I agree. But
So what I mean, yeah, but like if we're overflowing in a certain position, don't forget we've got Gibson, Branthwaite, and then we've got the 4 centre backs.
We've got
So
Reece Welsh on
something
the way
can
as
give
well.
there. Something can give, and I think if you could sell one of them, get some money in, and then put that into the right back, the winger, and the centre forward.
Could always loan a centre half. You know, there's an option there to bridge a loan. You know, maybe see what Reece Welsh is
You've
like
got
when he comes
Reece Welsh
as
as
yeah.
well,
And Eli Campbell as well, who
they're
goes young centre backs. Yeah,
made up with Reece Welsh.
Big-
What I'm
big-
hearing,
big lads, yeah.
things for him.
Yeah,
so
he's a good player.
He's 17 as well.
Delph will bring in the big money as well.
It's the striker position I'm interested in because it's what we do. You know, we need,
pressure on Dom.
in my opinion, we need Baku or Aarons, we need Bailey, or there's going to be a video out actually on right wingers that me and Andy have done, but we need a right winger who's got pace, and then we need a centre forward.
Do we sign Hwang on a loan who can do both this season? You know, Hwang Hee-chan from Leipzig.
Rather than a Bailey.
No, I mean, you sign him as well, but him on loan and rather...
So he's the backup.
It's the money that you're investing in the backup, really. I think, don't be wrong, I'd love to say, yeah, go out and get Tony for 30 million, but I just don't think Everton are ready in the way they're building the squad to spend a lot of money on a backup striker.
No.
I think you'll get to a point where you are, but you've got to have the rest of the positions filled. And I still think we're probably going to be maybe a centre... I don't think if we do sign a centre... We do need to sign a centre-back eventually, because if Carlo wants to play out from the back, you need someone who can play out from the back. And I think Godfrey's still learning. I think Holgate thinks he's best, and he is playing out from the back. I think it's a work in progress there.
Is there then an argument before we move on for just giving Ellis Sims a go then? Got no, that's
not.
He needs a loan. He's done well for Blackpool, but I think he's scored most of his goals in 5 games. He's had games where he
got
hasn't
2 last night.
He hasn't really I think there's teams in the Championship who'd like to have a look at him on loan. So maybe
All I'm looking at is
might-
if we've got a certain pot of money and King's not staying, and we need a right winger, we need a right back, we need a centre midfield player, we need a centre forward. If it's not going to be Josh King who's free,
loan then. Bridge loan in a free year, and then before you got the money to buy
I'm
him.
like you, I'd go and buy Edward, or I'd go
Yeah, you're going to get Edouard for 18 million, 15 million. I think don't overthink this.
I do agree with you as well. Tony could be
Don't
one.
overthink this, Edwards. I think it's proven, you know, I know he didn't have a great season this season, but he's been really good when he's played in Europe, I think.
And obviously,
He can play wide as well.
you introduced me to before as well.
Sarah Moffey from Lorient, yeah, he's a good
This
player.
fellow comes from Slovakia.
No, he starts in Lithuania, he went to Belgium, and then he went to Lorient. He's in 18 months.
21 looks like he could be wrong, and
He
15,
really looks like Lukaku, yeah, he's a good player.
There's also
Absolute no chance of
Seema.
winning, though.
Yeah, Seaman, you know,
Seema's 21 years of age. Quick,
there's options out
wide
there.
right, forward.
I know we've been linked with Dyke. I think he's too raw, me. I wouldn't sign Dyke, but there's players out there you could take a chance on. It's risk and reward with Everton. I think, you know, we've seen it with Moise Keane. Fans didn't take well to a project, did they? Everyone has to come in the ground running. I think if Sarr came in, for example, Papi Sarr, the centre midfielder, he's not a starter. He's someone who's your third off the second, first.
Don't you think a lot of that comes down to the player as well, though, and the noises they're making, or the I don't buy this stuff with Moise Keane, because his impact off the bench was horrendous.
How often do players make an impact
but
off the bench?
they do at other clubs, and this is what.
Do you watch every club every week? Though
Of course, you know what I'm doing every week. You know I'm digging
watch
into
more Marvel and
Chinese third division. That's my.
Well, that's my point. My point is to you is sometimes you go, oh my god, he scored off the bench, but in the other 10 games before that he didn't score. What did he do?
I've got no, but that's the point. I'm not even someone scoring. Moise Keane never.
He did look lost when he came on. Yeah, I agree.
He didn't contribute anything, and I'm not. Listen, the lad's a good player. I'm not having to go with the lad, but what I mean is that. See, Tony, I know he's 25, but I think he's in an ideal position to come into Everton. And I think he would make an impact off the bench.
He's got 80 goals in the last 2 seasons.
It's a step up for him. Moise Keane was a step down to Everton. It was a step down.
In his mind.
Well, no, he was
It's not in his mind. He played at Juventus in the Champions.
But he didn't play. If he was regular at Juventus, I'd agree with you. But I'd have gone, yeah. He's the kind.
He was using this as a stepping stone.
But what I mean is though, I think he's the kind of player and who's got a confidence to him where he feels like he should be starting games. And when he used to come off the bench, he just didn't do anything. And I think someone like Tony could make a big impact. And work his way into the team, knowing that he's got a lad who can score 20 goals a season. See, I think one of the problems with Moise Keane was he came in, probably thought, I'll be first team, and Dom went, no, you won't, lad.
Well,
and it was Dom who stepped it up.
It was good for Dom, yeah.
Dom stepped it up. And Tony, I think, that would or someone like that, Championship player, ready to make the next step.
Well, there's Adam Armstrong who's got a year left on his deal in the Championship. He scored 22. He's not the
Fast.
biggest,
Yeah,
he's fast.
I don't
He's
trust
5'7".
I don't trust players with
He's
the same
24
lettered
as well.
first name and surname.
No.
You know.
He's 24 though as well.
Yeah, he was at Newcastle when he
He's
was
quick.
a kid.
Yeah.
He scored goals. Now whether he's Premier League
do need
quality,
pace.
I don't know.
Kane makes a really good point though. He said, "Why is Andy dressed like he's a member of the Swedish House Mafia on Live at 5?"
I don't know. Which one am I? Maxwell. I don't know.
I just don't
What's
know
the other one's names?
Josh Nakin says one of Aguero, Bale or Coutinho. This side is still missing world-class players each week.
Wait, how many world-class players have we had over the years?
Hang on, if Hammers is only fit for 20 games a season, then one of those three could step it up when he's out.
No, I'm firmly in the LPIV camp on this now.
Right, this is where we've got to. Don't be wrong, it'd be great to have world-class players. If you were one player away from like a title, let's go for it. Yeah, great. Bring Bale in, who's injury-prone as well. Bring Coutinho, another injury-prone. These are all good players. Everton are not one player away, they're many players away. We don't want to sign players who in 2 years are going to have to be replaced by the time we get good. Yeah. It's not a short-term fix, I'm sorry to say.
Sol says, evening lads, hope Everton this summer learn from our mistakes. More players like Godfrey for me, more energetic and powerful in their prime. Can't afford another second season window like Koeman had.
Or like Brands had.
The guy, that guy says, looks like we're going to get rid of a centre-back. Would love it to be Holgate, but
that's because Fab's been fed something there. Well, I don't know how true it is, but we'll see.
Mick Meyer says Ivan Toney would be a great addition.
I think
good player. Good
Dov
player.
Kaufman says our wingers and fullbacks are absolutely dreadful.
What wingers?
We haven't got real wingers. We've got attacking midfielders.
We need to buy at least three wide
got
players.
13 number 10s still at the club.
Well, that's been an issue, yeah. I think the last one we bought was Balassi out now, was it? Or Walcott, sorry, but yeah.
Walcott, yeah.
But even he was 28.
Cam says he got a bit starstruck. He'll say hello next time. And he also said there's a petition for Ned to know the way to St Helens from the Lancs. So we can take him home.
It's a difficult one getting from to St Helens from the Lancs, though, isn't it? It's a really difficult one.
Straight run, really.
What I love is when we were asking him about him, he didn't go, well, this or that. The first thing he quoted was his mileage and how it would affect his petrol for the week. Do you know what I mean?
Barely got home.
I mean, that's,
What was that?
I had 20 miles left in my tank when I got home.
How does that work? How does that work?
Which goes down 5 miles every 5 seconds.
They stick corn in the
Right,
petrol
Paul,
tank.
enough for Ned. Paul 123 says Holgate, a year ago there was shout for him to be made captain.
There was?
Should we give him another season to cut or look to cut our losses? No point keeping hold of an excessive amount of squad players with no euro.
Yeah, but then we've got to have we can't. Let's be honest, if the fans had the way we chop 15 and buy 15, you can't do that. It's got to be gradual. So I agree that. Listen, I thought Holgate was good last season, but I did say to you last summer, and you agreed that he needs to do it again the next season. You've got to do it season
year after year.
So yeah, maybe he does deserve another chance to have a go at it. He won't be a starter, so he's got to prove it when he comes in. I still see the same failings as he had before that last season where he was making rash decisions and overplaying things. He needs to cut that out of his game. He's now 24. It's getting to the time where he needs to fix it, otherwise he will be going to a certain level. Yeah.
It's 100% an attitude thing with him. It's not a footballing thing.
He just thinks he's better. He thinks he's better than he is.
But I don't know. But confidence. Last season, he was confident.
Overconfidence, though.
Maybe, but last season he was committing to things and making the right decisions when to commit. And this season he's not.
Right.
So
fair enough. Slightly different player. Well, slightly better player. But there's a touch of the John Stones about him. When he went to Manchester City, there's a Mason Holgate is a good defender. In fact, that's what we used to say about him, that he's a good defender who can pass. Right, he stopped doing the defending part of it.
I always thought he wasn't a good defender, though. I thought his issues were but then again, that's age sometimes. His was switching off, and he made the wrong decision. And last season, he seemed to. By the way, I think it was only like 12 or 15 games he played at the start, and like last season, it wasn't as many as people think. Yeah, I think you'd have to see him do it again before I buy into the Mason Holgate. I'd say the same about Ben Godfrey. I think Ben Godfrey's been good this season, but I have to see him do it again next season, and I have to see him out of that low block where a lot of your flaws are hidden. When they played the high line the other night, I didn't watch the game, but I said to you straight away, they're going to have trouble here because there's no blanket for you there when you play it at high line, and that's the issue.
Watkins just took them for a merry dance.
Well, he did, and he made silly decisions on the ball. You know that's. I think...
No, but Watkins, to me, the other night, once he smelled blood, he knew he was in every time. Because he knew, once you make a mistake against a player like that, at any level of the game, as a centre-forward, you know you've got the defender, and the defender then knows he's in trouble. And once that mistake was made the first time, before he gave the goal away, Ollie Watkins only gets the goal because he's already sensed that Holgate doesn't fancy it. And that comes from confidence straight away. That comes from confidence in the players around you and confidence on the ball. And that's what we were talking about the other day about it afterwards, going, when he gets that ball, he should be just saying to Dom, you hit that corner for me and I'm going to ping it just a few times to get this out of me. So Ollie Watkins doesn't go, I'm going to have you every time. Because if I'm a player there, if I'm the centre forward and I'm quick and I'm determined and the centre back's got the ball, I'm just going to go and smother him. If the worst thing as a footballer is knowing someone's got you for pace, or anything. It's the worst thing in the world. You feel nervous straight away, and that to me is where Holgate's got to start making those decisions. Where you go, don't hit the corner, and I'll just ping it in because we've got to get through this 5 minutes where this fella thinks he's going to get me every time, and that's to me is being over cocky and overplaying it, and not understanding the game.
Yeah.
At times.
Do you think that the thought that we need a centre-half has come because Decore's out the team and they're not protected as much as they were before? I think there's still a level of midfield problems when Alan and Decore are not playing together, that we're still too open in midfield, and it really exposed the centre-backs. I think if we had like a proper sitter, and let Alan Decore go and put fires out,
Definitely.
I think the centre-backs will look a bit better because they wouldn't be under as much pressure.
I agree, but I also think the manager's making the wrong decision. Yeah. I think it's
Streaming and Godfrey.
Godfrey and Holgate, for me, are playing the same position.
Yeah.
And like when Mina and Keane play, and I know Mina and Keane's numbers are good because we generally play a low block when they play.
Which they're great at, yeah.
But the best combination for me is a stopper with the pace.
Yeah, stopper and sweeper, yeah.
And that, because I don't think Holgate or Godfrey are dominant enough in the air anyway.
No, they're not.
So
even though I used to think Holgate was a leader, Mina's the only real leader. You've got to, I've said it for years, you've always, as a centre back, you've always got to have an alpha. Always got to have an alpha. You've got to have the fella who tells everyone to get out. Now, Mason was that for a while, but I wonder, but there's not actually, when you're playing centre back, there's nothing worse than thinking the other fella next to you is the alpha. Yeah. And then I just
think he's lost his confidence.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I think sometimes, what Carlo's done is he's gone away from the formula too much. We were saying the other day, Tom Davies should be sitting in front of that back four, because what Tom Davies will do, and this is something that he gets criticised for, but it's probably his best thing, he'll receive the ball under pressure, and he does it with a good angle, and he can pop that ball off. Holgate has the ball the other day. He's given that to Tom, and Tom's got no problem there. And I know we've seen it. I know we've seen the Burnley game where he gets pushed, and he said it was a foul. I didn't think it was a foul. But Tom has no problem receiving the ball there. Alan likes to go in, right into the centre-backs and take it off them. Tom doesn't. Tom wants it to feet. With Gomez, Jesus Christ, you give him the ball, and again, he's like a slot.
Pops back to
them. Doesn't know. If he turns, honest to God, he's got Titanic.
He should be demanding that ball. He should be demanding it off Holgate.
With his range of passing,
he should be going, give me the ball.
Good players don't care. I watched Man City last night, they're the best at it. My God, would you look at the...
Mate, they had one in the second half where PSG club, he knocked it back to Ederson in the 6-yard box, and I thought he's going to leather it. He played it out to Kyle Walker, who was marked. He knocked it back, drew them in and went bum, 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 and turned him. And good
players don't mind taking the ball under pressure.
I think that's going to be key. And I think signing the centre midfield is key to the centre-backs issues as well.
No, I do agree. Samuel Dorndl says we need players with power and pace. The likes of Gomez and Delph in midfield won't cut it. Paul123 says we've got Branthwaite coming through, remember, but personally like for him to be the fourth choice centre-back next year.
I think he needs to play.
Try and move Holgate on and make a bit of capital. Not good enough to be a starter. Okay, Paddy B says the damned United is up there. Martin Wiggins says a shot at glory.
That's the Duval.
That's the Duval one.
Been linked with Chesney.
Hey, Washek's been good for Juventus. Don't knock Big
Wash. They're going to get Donnarumma, 10 million.
Don't knock Big Wash. They're going to get Donnarumma. Telling you, Big Washek's a decent keeper.
No, well, they're going to get Donnarumma.
They're getting Donnarumma.
Because he's the natural successor to Buffon.
Who's his agent? Oh, Raiola, what a surprise. Juventus.
No. Paul Cape Melbourne says if we don't keep King in the summer, would you take a gamble on Daka Patson?
Yeah, he's done
well. Another one now who's it's him or Dom?
Yeah, it's Salzburg. I wonder about players from Salzburg sometimes. I think some have done well, some have not done well when they've left. He scored a lot of goals. Will he do it? Will he be able to repeat it? remember Salzburg and Leipzig play a very specific system.
Yeah, but what happened with this kid?
Which kid?
That 17-year-old Red Bulls just bought in New York, and he's only staying for half a season. And
You mean Caden Clark?
Yeah, is that the kid? Yeah, hasn't he scored 3 already?
He's a good player.
So they brought him in. He's 17. Signed him from, where did he sign him from? Signed him from another MLS team, didn't he? And he's going straight to Salzburg now after for the start of next season.
Well, that's what they've been doing.
That's
now.
mad.
The pipeline.
That's mad the way they've done that.
They're putting him into the Struber's got them at RB New York now, so they'll go into the press, the way they press, the way they tactically move. Then they move to Salzburg, build up the European experience, and then they've all.
No, I just thought that was dead interesting. They
Clever,
brought a 17-year-old kid from another MLS club.
Some good 17-year-olds in the MLS, trust me, Jesus.
To go to and obviously go through the Jesse Marsh program.
Check out Caden Cowell.
Caden Cowell's a good player. Really
San
good.
Jose.
Busio's pretty good as well. Pappy's good at Dallas.
Everton should be all over him.
Tell him
right now.
Everton.
He should be though, shouldn't he?
Yeah, red payment's a bit of an issue, but yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, exactly what it is. Ludwig Schmidt says we don't need a CAM. We need a pacey winger and a more involved number 9.
We don't need more 10s now.
We need a midfield player.
Midfielder,
You need
or
a
a defensive
player.
midfielder, either or.
Doesn't matter what else you've got, you need a midfield player. Okay, where we are. Paul says we can't be signing anyone we might not want in 2 years. We're just giving ourselves more mess to clean up. Don't sign anyone over 25 unless it's a bona fide first team starter who will be around for a while.
Yeah. Corey types, yeah.
I am Milky Coffee, says Andy. You're looking really well, mate.
Thank you.
There you go.
Appreciate that.
YouTube Devfall says Everton should sign Sarr, Tony, Koulibaly and Lamptey.
Sounds great. How'd you finance all that?
Yeah. Bissouma, 40 million. Koulibaly, 50 million. Tony, 40
well, I'm
million.
not being funny, but if they're around me, that's
for
all he says.
Yes.
I like I mean, someone says, I'll catch up to
Can
it
we
in a
fund it
minute.
through the women's team?
Someone
Well,
said...
you can if you spend a lot of money in the women's team. It comes off the P&L.
Comes off, yeah.
That's what they do. Sorry.
Someone said before,
Shouldn't do that,
if the snakes don't get punished, then there's nothing stopping Everton spending the money this summer.
But they're all in love with each
Premier
other.
League teams don't mean
They
anything.
don't want to step over each other. Well, they did. I know they did, but they're all like, oh,
Did you watch the Scudamore interview with Neville?
I seen it was on for
Don't do a Super League again, lads. It's like that, and it's not.
Neville like does have a go on the Scudamores, like.
All in bed with each other.
They all make each other money, don't they?
It's not even they're making money. They're all been greasing each other for years and years and years.
It's Palace and people like that, like the money Man United and big teams bring to the league. They won't rock the
It is scandalous. Jamie B says no Bailey, no party, and it Baz. Spot on, Jamie.
Or Baileys.
No Bailey, yeah. Well, there you go.
On Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I don't really drink Baileys.
There you go. Ludwig says Watford won't give away Sarr.
Not for cheap.
Blue Boy Stew says get over to Patreon, lads. It only gets better the more the family grows. Nice one, Stew. Top man. Gareth Hughes says Everton keep dragging me back in. I stated I'd totally given up on this season. However, I'm looking at the table. If we win away at West Ham, which I wouldn't put it past us, I wouldn't.
He's stuck in Godfather Part 3.
We are still right in the hunt. Why do I do this to me?
Football, innit?
That's the beauty of football.
I look at the West Ham game and think we've got more chance of beating them than we have Sheffield United at home.
We'll beat Sheffield. Well, if we don't.
Will we? Will we? Listen to Alfie. You know me. I'm a negative
Negatonian
person, but I'm starting to doubt this project because we are a poorly run club. Don't think Brands and Carlo will look for the right type of player, and I honestly believe we'll stay mid-table for years to come.
If we actually go out and sign Coutinho or Koulibaly, and we don't bring in the young, hungry talent, then what's the point?
It's not what's the point, because at the end of the day, the manager is used to a certain level of player, and if Machini wants to spend a load of money and back the manager, then that's up to him. It's his money at the end of the day. Is that the smart thing to do? Probably not. We might win.
Quick success, maybe. But
we might win a League Cup or an FA Cup or something. But if you want to, it sounds great. But do you really want Everton to go back to the mid-table for another 20 years? No, you don't. You want sustained success.
I want 2 years on the run, Andy.
Yeah,
where we qualify for Europe for a start. That'd be a start.
As I said to you, I know you think Pochettino didn't win anything. He didn't. But about 10 years in the top 6 from Tottenham and playing a Champions League final, you'd take that if you're offered now. You really would, because it's exciting. We haven't.
If you'd offered me next 10 years in the top 6,
yeah,
right, and the Champions League final winning nothing, or 5 years in the top 6 winning an FA Cup and the League Cup.
Well, right,
I'd take the second
what about
one
top 10
every day.
the FA Cup?
For the next 10 years now, because
Exactly.
we're in the top 10 now.
It's
I won't do any.
I bet it was fun to be a
It's
Tottenham
not
fan.
difficult to get in the top 10 in the Premier
Well,
League.
fighting with the title as well.
Easiest thing in the world. Just got to buy the right players, which again is easy.
We're never
going to
catch Man City. It's impossible.
Well, Leicester have done it. Liverpool have done it.
Once.
I know, but they've done it, haven't they? Liverpool done it. Leicester done
I
it.
hope Pep leaves.
But I'm just saying, you
Yeah.
can't. I don't think. I know what you're saying, right? And like the goal overall for me, when I think about it, isn't we need to be Man City and be all conquering, all dominating.
We need to be top four side,
right?
though.
But it does. That doesn't really matter. What matters is building so you get stronger and stronger, so that you've got a chance of catching Man City. Like we said before, if Man United would have picked, instead of dropping a few points they've dropped lately, if they'd have carried on.
Close, yeah.
They were right in the hunt here with City. Just City of it, unbelievable form. Fair play, City on the day, you can't touch them. But yeah, Leicester have stopped them winning the league. Liverpool have stopped them. Don't forget, Liverpool had 2 years. 1 year they lost the league by 2 points. The next year they won it by
Quite
20.
good that year, wasn't it, to be fair?
Oh, it was great. But what I mean is they done it. And they done it.
No, I agree.
So it can be done. It won't be done whereas Everton win the league for 3 years on the road. It's never going to happen.
No.
But if Everton got into Europe,
in the position
got
to
into
try,
the Champions League, won a FA Cup, won a Europa League. Imagine
basically
that.
Tottenham with an FA Cup then as well.
Well, exactly. Well, yeah. But just mate, first and foremost is get into Europe 2 years on the road.
We finished 2 years in the bounce.
Because that'll mean we're actually
Big
doing
progress,
something, you know. RCO2 says most good teams just have an amazing mobile midfield and then players around the team who can score. We need the defence to contribute 20 goals. I don't think any defence contributes 20 goals.
Well, I think Liverpool's last season with the assist from the fullbacks. Apart from that,
yeah, with assists, I suppose, yeah. Midfield needs at least 15 goals and assists. Yeah, to be fair, he does say 20 goals and assists. Apologies there, mate. And the forwards to get 40 goals and assists to push in the Champions League. You need to score 60 goals to give yourself a chance of getting Europe in the Champions League.
And you need at least, 50% of them to come from your 3 forwards?
Yeah.
Roughly, yeah.
So that's the market you've got to be in. Everton haven't bought enough goals in the
No,
team.
it's true. Tony Grant did say that at the time, I remember.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily agree, but he was right and I was wrong. He said that we hadn't signed goals.
But we're all like that. We'll all have an opinion of how we are, and we're proven right with some stuff, we're proven wrong with others, because football...
You learn from your mistakes.
No, but it's not even mistakes, Don. Football changes that quickly that it can be right. I didn't think Harry Kane would do what he done, because I've seen and watched strikers all my life, and I've been right with most of them. Harry Kane, massively wrong with, because the lad's got no pace. You can't beat a man.
Nope.
And yet, he's fantastic. His goal
He's the Frank Lampard of strikers, isn't he?
Shifts the ball.
Yeah.
And now, what he's done over the last 3 or 4 years, his back-to-goal play is unbelievable. He's a massive diver as well. But he's absolutely brilliant. And you're not going to get everyone right. But guess what? Being right on loads where you look at and you go, that's not right. Well, that's wrong. He won't do it. People are making a big fuss about this fella and he's not all that. But the Premier League, we talked about it coming in, about the advice you'd give to a League 2 side or a Championship side. It's England. The advice in England is get a mobile midfield that can run, get a solid defence and get a bit of pace in wide areas.
Yeah, and goal. You have to score goals, that's it.
It's the same whether you're in League 2 or it's just that the quality of player gets better and better as you get up. England is about that.
That's why people find it tough when they're not, the pace of the game. That's why you have to have fit midfielders. It's the key.
RCO2 says most likely back up if Aarons doesn't sign.
Emerson, Chelich, Baku, Sambia. There's loads of right backs around.
What about Wout Weghorst?
The striker, he's 29 now. I like Weghorst. He's 6'6" and runs like the wind, but he's just too old and he costs you 40 million. If I was Wolfsburg, I wouldn't sell them. They'll be in the Champions League probably next season.
Okay, fair enough, he just asked. Den says, what are your thoughts on Aarons? A lot of negative comments about Everton not putting up a fight. If he doesn't want to come, we should move on.
Stop buying into false narratives, really, honestly. And do you know what? This is what I used to love Twitter, but I think this is the problem now. There's so many false narratives created about players, about situations, about transfers, about people working in football because of press and like little clickbait rumours. We'll see what happens with Aarons. Everton, if they want Aarons, will be able to get Aarons. I think Aarons probably want to come to Everton. His best friend plays for them. It's a big club. It's bigger than Norwich. Norwich have done well, to be fair. But let's just see how it goes.
I love the ones where people put on Twitter, this is Everton's shortlist.
Been told.
Boss, been told, this is the shortlist.
Just been told.
Is this
And
like
unless
Toffee
you-
transfers?
I think there's loads.
Or Charles
there's
Stevo?
There's a few.
Charles
It's
There's
all
a
right,
few
lads.
on there.
We're gonna make 200 million on selling players this season, and then they list every single player in the
Do you know
squad.
what?
There's
There's
a
a
few
few
on there,
players.
to be fair.
Yeah.
Like Marcel rings up and says, yeah, go on. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that, but that's what football, a lot of football's income, and maybe not for football, well, not for football clubs, but for everybody else, it's built on transfer rumours, isn't it? That's what it is now.
It's 24-hour sport, yeah.
The next
It's a 24-hour sport,
Betting
isn't it?
companies and all that
Yeah.
malarkey. Don't listen to any of it. And I know we put stuff out, but we just put stuff out because...
But it's talk gets conversation going and like that. The fans, you know,
But we'll also clarify what you know. I know Fab Romano, I know he's good at what he does, but he's only as good as the information you
yeah,
get.
it's all second hand or third hand. It's never.
And he just
from,
what actually works on social media is just what we found with this is people gravitate to the people who have got the collective information.
Yeah.
So if you've got somebody who's sits there all day giving out information for everybody, and he's going to get stuff right because he's feeding off everything else, then you know he suddenly or they suddenly become an expert. There are no experts because transfers can be 99.9 done.
I'll tell you a quick story now. We had a player in Build when I worked for a Championship club. Not one English press reported it. They're a decent sized club in the Championship, and it broke down because of negotiations with his club. And the play never happened, and it's still to this day not been reported. So that's the level of like if the club want to press to know or someone, you know,
Where is the play coming from?
I can't tell.
No,
you.
I mean level, above or below.
Well, below I'd say it was a European league he was coming from, and it's never been found out.
Look at, we both watched the Leeds documentary. Look at that with Dan James. Dan James is there in a Leeds
The
kit.
fax machine broke.
The kit, taking pictures. He's got his Leeds kit on.
Yeah,
He's got his number and all that,
Yeah.
and the deal. So that was done. 99.5% done.
It's loads, yeah.
Walked away. I was at Everton and seen when I worked at Everton 3 or 4 times. We had someone I really wanted in the building, and it never ever happened for whatever reason.
Defo.
Tottenham's team.
Keane
No.
Keane was the big one, but
Big Robbie.
you know it can fall away at the last seconds for whatever reason.
If you're good at keeping things as well, the clubs have...
Don't forget, Gabriel was basically Everton's player last year.
The clubs have leverage on journalists, remember, as well. And
They
they'll...
have like pictures of them in
No, they
compromising
do, because
positions.
if they want to play ball and get information off them, then they'll have to do their bidding, and sometimes it's to play poker in the transfer market.
Patricia says, do we still have a chance at the Europa?
Mathematically.
No, simply because we're crap.
The performances have slipped back.
We're crap.
haven't they?
Okay,
We're crap, aren't
fair enough. Sam Goodall says, Pappy Sarr, young midfielder from Mets.
Yeah.
Good player.
Isn't he? He's going somewhere, isn't he?
Pappy Sarr.
Didn't you say someone said the other day he was going somewhere?
To Everton.
No,
It wouldn't surprise me if Leon or a PSG side.
Everton have looked at him. Leicester have looked at
I
him.
think a lot of teams have.
You said the other day in our WhatsApp group that he was going somewhere,
I don't.
and I put a picture of Papa Smith.
No, we were just talking about Pappy Sarr generally.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you were going.
No, I've had the information, I'll tell you, I haven't.
Papa Smith.
Papa Smurf?
Papa Smith.
from
Ooh,
Now.
you haven't got the Smiths in St Helens
Papa
yet.
Smurf?
Joe Briggs says, Bailey,
Garbage.
Tony, Baku and a midfielder. Lash, Iwobi, Keane, Bernard in the bin.
Can the midfielder be in with a B as well?
Doff Kaufman says, what happened to Diatta? He's been decent at Monaco and can play many positions. But he's only just joined Monaco. Only went in January.
It's hard. We had this discussion in January. Sometimes players don't get going to next season. They're quite confident he'll be good, to be fair.
He's only just gone though, hasn't
There's
he?
a good podcast with Lawrence Stewart, who's the head of recruitment for Monaco on the Training Ground Gory podcast. He talks about it. It's quite interesting.
June says, sell Richarlison, bring in Ismail Sarr and Basuma. Also sell Holgate and Moise Keane, bring in Rabiot, Aguero, Bailey and Trippier.
That's 6 players.
Sangari would be good.
7.
Well, we should have got Sangari last summer for 8 million quid. I think it's hard, isn't it? Because you're trying to...
You can't go around
Look
going, I'm going to sell all of you if I can, because then the players, if they're still there the next season and their heads are down then, it's a real balancing act, the clubs. You're trying to sell players, but you can't tell them you're selling them, because otherwise they might not want to play for you, but again, they might not put the effort in. It's man management, really. It's very difficult.
Sam Clegg says, is it fair to say Pickford's had a good season?
He's had a good
I wouldn't
couple
say a
of
good
games.
season, but I'd definitely say he's had a good
Improvements.
He's had a good 3 or 4 months, and I think the need for a new goalkeeper has been
On the
massively
back burner for
eased.
now, yeah.
Would you say he's won us more points than he's cost us this season? Because he definitely cost us.
Is the data still says no, but another couple of games like he had the other night, and he'll say yes.
Has he creeped up?
He's now around 12th, 13th.
So what would you had one about 7th or 8th, wouldn't you?
No, if he gets 8th or 9th, yeah. Like example, Kepa, worst goal in the league the last couple of years. Mendy, 7th or 8th best in the league. Massive improvement. That's what you need. Yeah, that's all you need. You don't need the best to go from the worst to best.
Throwing them in.
Yeah, just some competence.
Don't throw them even out what you should really keep out.
Tim Howard didn't make it a Man United. He came to us competent. I know people had problems with Tim Howard towards the end, but he was good for many years.
He was. Derek says, hi lads and hello Gary. I've never laughed so loud when I read we were signing Bale in the press this morning. Here we go. Is there anyone we're not linked to? Pele
I scared someone of hearing him laughing that loud.
Dexy sound. Gareth says regarding raising funds to rebuild the squad, by my reckoning we have 6 players who would fetch at least £25 million, some a lot more. Pickford, Dean, Godfrey, Richarlison, Dom and Keane. Who apart from Keane would you sell first if the right bid came in?
Sorry, who's the players? Pickford. No one will buy Pickford. Who's the next one?
Dean.
Yeah, you'll get 50 for Dean.
Okay, Godfrey.
I don't think we'll sell Godfrey.
Who's paying 50 for Dean?
PSG.
Really?
Just
28.
Yeah, I think they will. Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Fair
really?
Play.
Yeah.
Who else?
That's about it. Well,
that's the problem.
Well, no, I agree. Man City, maybe not.
You're not buying a 28-year-old.
It depends.
Come on,
It depends what they want to do.
This is your job.
I'm not saying they will.
I wouldn't buy your job.
What I would do and what other clubs would do is completely different.
Like a DJ.
No, he's telling you. He's telling
I
you.
don't think.
I think PSG
this is why I think Dean signed the contract. I don't think anyone's paying the kind of money that Everton want for a player like for a 28-year-old. I just don't think the market...
we made that decision really because we could have said to him, actually, we'll probably sell you but we haven't really readied anyone behind him yet.
It
depends what the player wants to do.
I think the player just wants to play.
I think maybe he thinks I'm not saying this. I don't know this for sure. Maybe he thinks wants to play in Europe. I don't know. He's a very good player. So
do you know why he needs to step it up?
He does. He's not been great defensively.
Do you know? I generally think a lot of players just want to be happy, play football, be comfortable in life, live in a nice place, and bring the family up. And I think a lot of players are just like that.
He's seen it before. He was at PSG and Barcelona. It didn't work out, did it? So
Roma?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Roma's a difficult time.
Richarlison.
Yeah, you get 50, 60 million for Charles. I don't think you get the 80.
Where?
It depends. I'm not, again, you think about PSG. He's never gone to Barcelona, Real Madrid. He's just not good enough. But Bayern consider it. Maybe not now. He's fallen in between.
Inter Milan.
Potentially, yes.
Have they got
maybe.
Got the money?
Not currently, because Suning are pulling out.
Aren't they?
But then Milan with the big club, so
the
always going to find a buyer.
Aren't they?
American hedge fund will buy Inter Milan. No problem with that.
Dom.
Big name.
If Man United come in with a massive bid, because I know Man United have watched them a couple of times, then maybe, but again, then it's very easy to say, let's sell Dom, and that's go and find me 50. We've tried to find a 15 goal scorer every year for years. It's not easy.
Gareth had sell Richie first.
I think if he'd had a good season, then yeah, you could sell him, but he hasn't, and there's question marks over where his good level's going to be.
Depay and Toffee are players we should seriously look at as well if we're going to push Richie up front. Both are amazing at Champions League level and far better than the French league. Depay's both free, aren't they, this summer?
A lot of money you'd need to them. I think Depay's great, and I think if Carlo's probably the person you could manage his temperament, but I just don't think.
Where would Depay go though?
He's going to Barcelona.
Do you think he'll go to Barcelona?
I think they haven't got a lot of.
But they're still trying to bring Neymar back.
Why?
Because it keeps Messi happy.
Also, Barcelona Nike or Adidas. I think the Nike, aren't they? And that's the big thing, isn't it, for them? I know Adidas is Messi, but yeah Messi's Adidas.
Neymar's Puma.
Is he Puma now? He changed recently, you're right.
Puma.
Dick L wants you to settle a dispute. Everton's worst pound for pound signing. 30 million for Alex Iwobi or 25 million for Yannick Bolasie.
Neither, to be honest. It's Davy Klassen because he doesn't play enough games.
Right, yeah, I can't stress this enough, right? Yannick Bolasie not only had one career-threatening injury, but two career-threatening injuries in the same thing, right? Say what you want about Yannick Bolasie, right?
No, he's not bad.
If someone does that, if that happens to any player, then it's not their fault.
He was playing well in his first season, Bolasie, to be fair. The thing is, right, Iwobi's been a poor buy overall, agreed. He's actually played games, though, and in actually one or two games, he's actually been all right. we're looking at like Per Coldren, we had to sell after one game. You're looking at Klassen, Sandro. They're 3 worse buys than Iwobi and Balassi by miles because they just didn't get anything out of them.
Yeah, I think it's Iwobi. No, I do generally. I think it's Iwobi because, and for that reason, because when I've seen him on a football pitch, I struggle to see a footballer.
Fair enough.
He's the best player in the playground.
Fair enough.
But
Christopher May said Enna Valencia had more of an impact off the bench.
Enna Valencia off the bench was fantastic off the bench.
Valencia, good player,
He did.
One of some key points to get us in 7th.
And he was great at avoiding the what was the
child maintenance.
child maintenance people.
James Gunn said get Lewis Muriel from
Atalanta. He's 29. He's never played outside.
We were linked with him a few seasons ago.
James Gunn.
Yeah.
He went to Sevilla actually as well. Sorry.
Srel Ali says, "What's Rabiot play for set up for Juventus a second goal on Sunday? That's exactly what we need in midfield."
I don't know whether he's just trying to work a new deal. I don't know what Rabiot's and his agents are up to. I know Carl will probably like him, but I just can't see him going to Everton.
David Snook says, "Andy, good piece with Paddy. Like the looks of some of those players, need to take measured risks. All good clubs who've made the step up have taken risks." And Cam says, "Spot on, Andy, about older players. Completely agree."
Everton have just got to decide what they want to be, don't they?
It's either short-term tilting and try and win something before we go to Bramley Moor, or try and build something sustainable.
Build into Bramley Moor.
Sustainable. Yeah,
But you've got to relate that, though, haven't you, to the fans? You've got to relate what you're doing to the fans. You've got to say. You've got to come out, and I know, I'm not saying you've got to come out and go,
just get Bill in front of a camera with a statement, it'll do.
You can't, you've got to come out and go, this is what we're doing, this is our state of the union, this is where we're going, this is how long this is how we're going to do it, and what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and where we want to end up, and take the pressure off.
Setting expectations.
Take the pressure though off Marcel Brands and the manager. If you said to them, by the time we get to Bramley Moor, we want to hit this, then we'll relay that to the fans. Because the minute you bring in a manager like Carlo Ancelotti, you put a big thing above the door that says we're winning trophies now. Yeah. But if you don't bring the players in to back them up, then what's the point?
Exactly,
You've only put the tip in. Never put the tip in. You know what I mean? So they've got to relay that though to the fans, because there's a lot of people out there who are getting, they're getting I don't think
jaded,
not nervous about it, but they're looking at the way we're playing and do you know what I thought the other day though? I was thinking about where we are in the league and the shouts we've had for a manager in the past, and I just thought, if we brought in someone like Simeone, we play just the same football and we'd probably just be in the same place. Because the budget is only there to do that kind of thing. It's
very difficult to break into the top 6. They have the advantage of playing in Europe, the extra money, the Premier profit lost. It's just I think this season's an outlier, but yeah, overall, apart from Leicester, who are quite a smart club, even though they had a really bad time in transfer window after they won the title that year, Ahmed Musa, Slimani and Adrian Silva, for example. But yeah, I think Everton explaining the expectations to the fans will ease some fears. I think all the rest of the time we've just got these sound bites saying Bashiri wants to spend money and I want to do this and that, and it's all great, but it's lip service. You have to have a real plan. I think that's what we need.
See, I look at like the top 6 and I see Arsenal nowhere. I see Spurs going the other way.
At the moment,
Leicester are in there because Leicester have been consistent. West Ham, in my opinion, won't be there next season. But I think Everton have got a chance.
I guess we talk about Arsenal, right?
I think Villa have got a chance. Arsenal have got
24 out of 25 years they finished in the top 6. Now I know that's going to go away this season, and last season it did.
Exactly.
They could win the Europa League, so they won't.
They're on a down
spiral. But if their clubs are still rich enough and still got those years built in the bank where they can spend money, like Arsenal and for Basuma, for example, if they sign Basuma and a couple of others, may not be Arteta, might be another manager, they might still be able to get top 6.
But isn't that the frustration, I suppose, with some fans, is that it does feel like it's wide open at the moment.
But we blew our chance, yeah.
It does feel like there's been a brilliant opportunity this season to break. There's always those seasons, like when Leicester won the league, with the doors open, and we never seem to be ready to take that.
We should have been after that first season of Martinez, that third season when Leicester won the title. We should have been there.
We should have been the ones in there,
definitely.
Azira Bebe, when's the next catch up with Big Dunk? Soon, very soon. LCC MD7 says, do you rate Hakimi at Inter Milan? Yes.
He's great.
Fantastic.
I'll come to Everton now.
Absolutely fantastic. Where are we? Veen Win says Jonathan David, someone we spoke about before.
Yeah, he's had a decent second half of the season. He's been good for Lille. Yeah.
Why is that just racing? Phil Broader said we just need to get players who have pace, ability, and a winning mentality.
The winning mentality is difficult because that means you have to go for players who've won it before. Some players just breed a bit of mentality because they're just born winners.
Yeah, it is difficult. Isn't
players don't submit to psychometric testing. It's a lot of it's third, second-hand information of coaches and family members. It's very hard to try and understand someone's psyche. It really is hard.
Definitely. Hello, I'm from South Korea. Who's a Toffee? I honestly can't pronounce your name, but hello. I can't because I pronounce that.
Yeah, it's in Chinese writing.
Yeah,
so that's impossible for us.
But hello.
But
And thanks for watching, and boss that you're a Toffee.
The Wolves game has been confirmed for Wednesday the 19th of May, 6 o'clock kickoff. 6? And
in the morning.
The Villa game has been moved to 6 p.m. kickoff, which is good for us on the Thursday night.
Oh, on the Thursday.
Yeah, that's good for us.
Players in watch-alongs?
So we have to get everything done that night because the next day is like a bit of an important day for both of us.
Yeah.
Get married?
Yeah, we are getting married.
We're getting married.
Yeah. How did you know?
Well, tax dodgers.
You're not invited.
Best man.
Stephen Caldy says Lamptey or Aarons. It'd be Lamptey for me.
I like Lamptey.
It'd be Aarons for me.
Lamptey, the only he's played in the back four briefly. He was decent, but I just have questions whether with his height he's better at right wing back or right midfield in a 4-4-2, for example.
Definitely. Meg versus Jake says we need someone who can take on players one-on-one. The Corey and Zakaria in midfield. Yeah, lovely. But Allison needs a winger he can give it to so we can push out wide. Andy, love you, mate. There you go.
I don't know you, but love you too.
That's Jake. Dennis Qualude.
Quaalude. Is he on the 11s?
I don't know. I thought it was Dennis Quaid.
Oh, you're so square, Baz.
Says, you guys think Dom will leave?
No.
Get off the phone!
John M wants Ezzy from Palace.
Yeah, we've missed that chance, I think. He's not the 10 though, really, who plays wide.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He is, yeah. Ludwig says Depay is very good, he'd do well.
He would.
Mitchell says Italy is the place for midfielders, in my opinion.
Some good midfielders in Italy, to be fair. Again, though, the style of play is completely different to us. It's about trying to measure. People go, sign Andre Bellotti, for example, from Torino. I just don't think he'd score goals. He's saying with Mr. Immobile.
Yeah.
It's very different leagues, and don't get me wrong, Italy's becoming much more of a scoring league recently, but it's horses for courses.
Italy.
Like Shevchenko, I know he might have been on the downside of his career, but he was great in Italy. He might not have been good here, even in his prime. You just don't know, but sometimes they don't work out.
Check Google Drive.
What?
Eldon Lilford says out of Everton's teams who are the highest rated players and how far from featuring Everton's younger teams do you consider them to be?
Well, he got on Yango, but it's a quick question mark. There's a big leap between the under-23s, and you've got to have the right loans, or if you're good enough, you go straight into the first team and train with the first team. It's very difficult to know. I think Welsh looks really good. I think Onyango's got a chance. Small's really good athlete. I think he's got a chance. I'd say Warrington, Price, Dobbin, and maybe one or two others. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Danny Monarch says Everton have a 56% win rate with the core in the team. If you win 56% of your games in a season and lose all the rest, you still end up with 64 points, which is Europe. We've got a 12.5% win rate without him.
It's a small sample size one season, I'd say. You need much bigger.
But he's right, though, isn't he?
He's right, but you need a much bigger data set to do make things like that.
RCO2 says, ask you, how does your data different? Sorry, how does you display your data? Because it's very different to the FBRF system. So
we've Ram, who's one of the partners in Market Insights, he took a visualization for bar charts. He took it from a guy called Ashwin Raman, who's also excellent at doing them, and that's what we based them on. It's just a tiny bit different. They have different data than us. They have StatsBomb data, API data. We have Y-Scout, so it's different types of data. That's the only different things. Man
United will play Leicester on Tuesday the 11th of May at 6 o'clock, and then play Liverpool on Thursday the 13th of May at 8:15.
They'll be in the Champions League probably.
No, I know. I just think
they'll just throw the game. Not
No, but what if you're one of the other champions teams trying to get in the Champions League and Liverpool are playing Manchester? Liverpool
that happens. Who was it the last couple of years ago where they played a really bad team and they lost 2-0 while the manager was kicking off? I can't remember who it was. They lost 2-0.
But if you're Chelsea there looking at those fixtures, that's horrendous. Liverpool have got a playing Manchester United 48 hours after they played Leicester.
That's the Euros as well. The COVID's caused a lot of problems.
Michael says the Holgate problem stems from us having no left-footed centre-back still. Awkward centre-half, do you think they'll address it in the summer?
I don't know. I think the centre-half thing's come lately. I think Carlo would love to have someone who can play out and pass like Koulibaly, because we just haven't got that, that ball-playing centre-half. Is it a priority for me? Not as much, because I think we've got 4 decent centre-halves.
Yeah.
I think if the opportunity came to sell one, we could sign one maybe, but I don't think it's a priority as much as the right-hand side. It's on centre midfield.
RCO2 says, do you think we'll struggle with a certain style of signings due to the fact we don't really have a style of play? Like, are we going to go for fast plays, we press a lot, or more physical, technical?
Maybe Carlo's got an idea, and they build profiles out of that. It does make it easier when you're in recruitment if a team's got a really definable style of play. Obviously, Leipzig being one, Pep being another. It's very easier to recruit because you can say he's an Everton player, he's not an Everton player, but they'll have to work it out amongst themselves. I'm not involved with the club, so I don't know.
Cowiart says Ned looks like the kid from Fireman Sam. Congratulations on the 50k, guys.
Norman. Isn't he the one everyone hates, isn't he? Is he? Oh, no, man.
Pre-cut.
Sue Babington says Ivan Toney, good backup striker. He would be, but he cost a pretty penny, won't he?
He's this right type of player, though, hungry.
Is he hungry?
I suppose he'd want to. I suppose he'd want to.
Wolf.
I suppose he'd want to prove it in the
I know what you're saying. I absolutely know what you're saying.
There's loads of players to be ideal, but
it's money.
Don't get me wrong, we've got a rich-ish owner and a uncle that's quite rich as well. But the rules put in place by certain people to stop people going low-ho spending, probably because they don't want people competing, but also
that's
because of West Ham as well. You've got to have some control in place because you can't let clubs go out of business. But still, football needs money putting into it after COVID. They should probably let people spend, but whatever.
Martin Wiggins says, I think Farhad will want to make a big statement signing. Maybe.
Great. Sign some for the women's team.
Brace Fan TV says, Alex Niago says hello. There you go.
Oh, Alex.
LCC MD7 says, would Jack Grealish improve us?
I think so.
Everyone.
I think a bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little
He's a bit good, yeah.
Dave Coakley says, take Fusa Kubo on the wing, please. He's not getting enough game time at Villarreal due to rotation. Young lad, bags of pace and exciting to watch.
Fusa Kubo was the one who Barcelona took when he was too young. Then he had to go. He went back to Japan. Then he's gone to Real Madrid. Now he's out on loan at Villarreal. He's not ready. Just isn't ready. He's got a lot of talent, but he just isn't ready.
Seamus O'Brien says, what are your thoughts on Coutinho coming to Everton? Would you take him?
If we didn't have James, yeah, but we have, so no.
Okay. Benjamin Fairclough says, wouldn't mind Dennis Zakaria. Me neither.
Good player.
Mick Flynn says, what are your honest thoughts on this Tony fella? Is it really a necessity? Or is it a can't miss deal?
Tony from the pub? I don't know. No, I haven't. It's not can't miss because Everton can't be in the situation where needing a backup strikers can't miss. If Don wasn't great, I know he's not perfect, but if Don wasn't scoring goals, then yes, a striker who can score goals would be much needed. But I think people have been a bit hard on Don because he's
don't we have to buy goals though?
But they're going to start. Don't be wrong, we need rotation. Don't we do? But the most of the money has to go in what's going to start on the pitch.
I think we need to buy goals, and I think
a right wing and a right back should
I know, but
I
think it's important to buy goals, and whether that's
manufacturing more by having a right wing and a right back.
Get a top winger who score goals and create.
I agree with that, but what I mean by that is that we have to start having this idea of there isn't a starting centre forward.
No, I agree, but we've got to fill the holes. It'd be great if we could sign a centre forward, 3 centre forwards, and they'll be scoring goals. Who's supplying them on the right hand side though?
No, I'm just saying. All my goals. Just my goals.
Back goals.
Back goals.
Do you want me to just take
I don't know
over?
why you complicate.
No, I'm just double checking that Everton haven't emailed me to say I've been successful on a ballot. I'll be probably the only Everton fan who's been in
Speak
four
to Bill.
ballots and
Give him
not
the phone.
got a ticket.
All right, Bill.
Ring Bill for me.
Ped told him he'll get the
I
Champions
will
League
be
in 8
complaining
seconds.
if I don't get a ticket for Wolves.
He told me he'd get the Champions
back,
League in 7 seconds.
He just said, watch the space.
Okay. Danny Monarch says, in order of importance, Ridley Baku 1, Leon Bailey 2, Boubacar Samari 3, Daryl Dyke 4, Sergio Romero 5. If he really wanted to make a statement, I'd get another top winger, ASM, St. Maxim, or Pedro Neto.
One's just as crucial and the other's a very mercurial player.
I'd just say this, I honestly, for the life of me, don't know why people keep going on about...
Because they watch him every week, that's why.
Not Maxim.
Oh.
Pedro Neto.
He's good.
What?
He had a good season.
No, what's he got? He's got 2 goals or something.
He's got 6 goals and 4 assists, hasn't he?
I watched
think
him
he had
for
a good
Wolves.
season.
It's mad. St. Maxim's is the
He's fun,
typical
but
match that they play.
he's fun, but he's
Got loads of pace like we haven't got
his
any.
decision making's.
But Neto, I honestly don't get. I don't get.
I'm just looking at those fixtures there. 10,000 fans back in Goodison Park and they make it a 6 o'clock kick-off.
It's not 10 though, is it? It's only 6.5.
That's good for nice on there. All the pubs will be open
because
then.
of the concourses.
That's good for the pubs, that, because the brick will be back open and all that. They're all open, all that.
I'm fuming if I haven't got a ticket.
Well, you don't like the pubs?
6 o'clock.
I don't.
People who don't like pubs shouldn't go to the game.
I mean, that's fair enough. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe if I went to
Sorry,
pub, I'd enjoy the
alcoholic
game
fans out there. I
I think it'd be
apologise.
more important. Garrett says, one thing I'm 100% certain of is that if we cannot go into next season with a fit Gabamon being the answer to our midfield mobility. He is fit. When he's fit, he's what we need, but unfortunately, as the leg's made of Capri's flake and is so unlucky since he signed. We need to look at him as an added bonus with no pressure.
I feel sorry for Gabamon because they'll be on the first 2 injuries, yeah. This one, if some 13-stone fella falls on your knee as it's shaped out, you're going to get hurt. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's one of those, isn't it?
Richard Folk says, would you go for Basuma at fake Wigan? Looks exactly what we need in midfield.
He's going to cost you 40 million. I just don't see Everton spending 40 million on a player.
There's no chance. I don't even think. I'm
Arsenal
not
into it, aren't
convinced that Everton
He's not much
midfielder.
better. He's a B-Tech Decore. Just runs around.
I
He's a mobile player.
I think he's a better passer than
I think
Corey.
people have looked and have people get very excited.
Get very attached to people, yeah.
After one season, though, he's
need
done all right.
We need
I
some
watched him
goals
against
from
us,
midfield
and
as
people
well.
that tell him he was amazing. I was like,
He's just better than
he
what
was
we've got.
all right. He was just better than what we had, but we also had 9 players out that night. I'm not saying he's not good because he is a good player, but
Guess why our games we moved to 6 o'clock?
Why?
Because
of Liverpool United game. Of course it is. Not going to be bothered about us, are they? Our game means nothing. That's potentially for Liverpool. That's like, what they need.
That means they're going to be in here.
We won't. We'll be out of here. Oh, we'll have to come in.
We have to be here.
Oh my! I hate Everton. Just bend over and put the lube on themselves now. Yeah, we'll play it whatever time you want. Philip Stephen, if you don't buy Aaron's, he'd be your alternate choice. Baku for me. Big Jan says, evening all, getting excited for next season as this one has turned to crap. Surely if the snide 6 don't get punished, we can buy who we want. Well, that's what Everton should do. If they get away with it, Everton should just go, right, we're doing whatever, because there's clearly no, the Premier League won't do anything. If you can, 6 of you can pack your bags up and go, we want to go over there because there's loads of money, and all you get is that. Oh, you can't do that again. Then they can't stop anyone spending money. And Farhad, I think, will look at it like that.
We'll see.
And therefore, I would spend I'd spend 500 million this summer.
I don't think Farhad's got 500 million, has he? I know his mate has.
Farhad hasn't put a penny into it, mate.
We know what Farhad thinks about FFP. He's already said, hasn't he?
Big Alice, yeah, is the one bankrolling it. So bankroll it a bit more.
Allegedly.
That's my opinion. Doesn't.
In my opinion.
Richard Parr says, would either Dusan Vlahovic or Nesri.
So
Never
Dusan Vlahovic from Fiorentina. Yeah, they cost you money though. Again, Italian striker. This is his first big season. I've never been that convinced by Nesri.
No.
He's always been good.
It's only Cotty.
Maybe.
Ethan Riley says, good to see the Piv back.
Hello.
Your knowledge is top here. Cali FC says, hello, lads, hope all is well. Andy, look like you've lost weight. Fair play, lad. And how is Aaron Hickey getting on?
Obsessed by weight.
How is Aaron Hickey getting on in Italy?
He's done all right. I think he's had a decent first season, yeah, Aaron, yeah. I think that Bologna are an interesting team, yeah. I think we'll see how he goes. Left or right foot.
I was going to say, which one is he? You don't know.
You ask people at Hearts, they said they didn't know what foot he was, so there you go.
He's one we could have got as well. And for what did he go for, $1 million?
I think it was about 650 grand, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, less than $1 million. Good player. Good player. Phil says, hi lads, would love Hwang from Leipzig. Can't see it happening now. His old boss is going there.
Yeah, but hold on, they've signed Brian Bobby, they've got Poulsen, they'll be signing Dacher, and they already have, who's the other one they've already got? So they'll have 3 or 4. He'll be like third or fourth choice.
Everton do like him, so.
Yeah, you don't know. Wouldn't rule him out.
Also would love Anguissa from Fulham, Dalot from United, and Romero's a backup keeper.
Dalot's had a good season, Milan. I think they'll end up buying him.
Rabiot, Santiago Souza, and I'd like a loan move for Renier. I've watched Santiago Souza playing in MLS.
He's just signed for Atlanta, isn't he? He's all right.
He's all right, but he
needs games.
He needs to play this full season in MLS and play every game.
If people want to look at some fun in the MLS, watch Atuesta at LA FC.
Scored last week.
Or watch Christine Caceres at New York Red Bulls.
Atuesta scored last week for LA. Phil O'Neill says, isn't the Wolves game 7:45? That's what it says on my ticket.
6 o'clock now.
Have you got a ticket? Why haven't I got one?
Because you're not friends with Bill.
That's a joke. I'm definitely putting in a strongly worded email to the club.
Ask Jeff, he'll sort it for you.
All my money back.
Hello, Jeff.
Tom Newton says, all right, fellas.
You don't even know where your money is.
I don't. Everton just kept it. All right, fellas. Seems like a centre-back position is looking. If Everton are looking for a centre-back, then
why don't you tell Fab about
I really am going to throw my hand in.
Hello, are you Fab?
Fab, no one knows this yet, but we're looking for a centre-back. All right, thanks, Fab.
Has Andy got any suggestion for a centre-back who's comfortable on the ball and can play through the lines? Also, what are your thoughts on Vestergaard at Southampton?
No.
We've got enough slow players. I haven't seen enough to say signing, but he's impressed a few times.
The problem when people ask me this now is the clubs I work with don't shop in top 5 leagues. Everton solely shop in top 5 leagues. So unless Baz and we do a video, I haven't looked at centre backs. I'm watching players with at least 1 or 2 moves before Everton all the time, and so it's not really good to ask me these questions anymore. Sadly, I'm boring.
Garen Katz says, "What about this Leo Dubois? Well, we like Dubois.
I like Leo. I think, unfortunately, he's going to be a bit too costly for us, but I like him. He's like Dean on the other side, yeah."
Okay. Sue Babington says 17 million for Pereira. Apparently, it's not bad, is it?
He'll stay in the Premier League, won't he?
He will do, yeah.
Stephen Evans says Abraham and Hudson-Odoi.
I love Hudson-Odoi. Everyone knows the light show, but again, Chelsea won 45 million for him. The price buying out, and Abraham again. I just don't think. I think he'll end up at West Ham, mate. I think that's destined.
Yeah, it'd be a terrible move.
Him and Ross.
Ross, yeah.
Him and Ross. Rice goes the other way.
Yeah,
true, maybe.
Scintillating skill, says Andy. Was Zakaria Bakali meant to be the next big thing?
Yeah, he was when he was at PSV and then he went to Valencia. It's just not worked out for him. I think he's in Belgium now. I think he's in Belgium. Yeah, it just never worked out for him. The problem is when a player gets good early, people start bigging them up and start making comparisons, which are not fair. And some players make it, don't be wrong, they do, but then a lot don't. Every good Portuguese winger is the next Ronaldo. Like Jolson Fernandes, who's at Sporting now, everyone's like, oh, he's next Ronaldo. Very difficult to be that level of player. And we've seen it with Rooney. I always say Rooney was a great footballer, he did everything. Yeah. But because we projected so much on him, we always expect him to be even better, which is impossible, isn't it? He was a great player. It's mad the way people think, but yeah.
Stuart said, what's Andy's dream drink at Goodison?
Oh, good shout this.
Until you give the video a thumbs up, he's not answering.
I mean, you don't know that he hasn't.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. 500 watching, 97.
It'd be like
almost
a
embarrassing.
pint of IPA from a decent craft beer. I can't be drinking Coors, Carlin, none of that. Get a local brewer in, someone like Neptune and McGull, good people. Get them to do it.
Fair play.
All other beer places are acceptable, though, as you know.
Mr. Dorf says, guaranteed we get punished if we broke FFP rules. Diego says, Julian Draxler, Brandt, Di Maria, Bailey. Surely they're upgrades and have some commercial.
Di Maria's not coming to Everton.
Di Maria wouldn't leave.
Especially what happened to Manchester, what happened to Olsen this season. There's absolutely no way.
No. No, because that's one of the reasons why he wanted to leave, didn't he?
Super player, though.
He's a good player, yeah. Mark Howard Johnson says Ridley Baku. Yeah.
Big Rids. He's the same. By the way, people say to me, Ridley Baku's small. He's 1 centimetre shorter than Max Aarons.
Okay, yeah. Last 5 minutes. Where are we? Matthew Berkeley rather, says our midfield don't score enough. That's all. Yeah, absolutely spot on.
Decore, if he was unleashed, would, I think he had averaged 6 goals a year at Watford, didn't he?
Diego says we should get another strong central defensive midfield player to protect the back and give James the freedom. Also a winger, so we're not forced to play midfielders without any pace. Exactly. That's what we need.
Everyone knows.
How was Sangari getting on?
He's done well, to be fair. He struggled with the tech because it's a completely different game in Holland. It's much more technical and tactical than France. France is very more like here. He's done well, to be fair. His numbers are off the charts. And I think because he's so physical, a lot of the midfielders in that league can't handle some of his size and pace because they don't have many players of that type. So he's done quite well, to be fair. I think another season the Schmidt will be good for him.
£8 million and we just let it go.
Well, Toulouse are a factory, sadly.
Phil McCauley says, how good is Tom Cannon?
He's one of those in the middle ground, I think. I don't know whether Tom will make it or not. He might, at this moment...
Looks decent.
He might have a career in the FA. Listen, it's hard to make it at Everton. Anthony Gordon might not make it at Everton. It's not easy. You have to be top players now to make it in the Premier League. Yeah,
definitely. Dark Arts, I have been. I've caught up with all of them, mate. Let me know if I've missed yours off, but I've read all the Peyton comments. Stephen Evans says Kenny Tetty from Fulham. Well, Kenny Tetty.
We could have got him last season, yeah.
He's only on loan anyway, isn't he? They signed him, didn't he?
$2 million.
Yeah, we looked at him last season.
I liked him for a cheap option, but there you go.
Stuart says no punishment means no rules. Absolutely right, mate. Absolutely right.
They're all in band together. You can't.
No, but you.
I know. I agree with everything you're going to say, but they are all in league with each other.
No, but I know, but nobody can turn around and go, right, you can't spend that money because you fail our rules.
Man City in court now.
But then 6 can do what they want.
So if Man City win this court case, then it should be open season, really, shouldn't it?
I think it'll be open season anyway. Because Liverpool lost 180 million, United lost 200 million. The Premier League aren't going to go to them. Oh, I don't know, you fail, I think. There's no chance. Nope. Everton should just go, we're putting the market down. Otherwise, we've said it before, and maybe we should have done this on another video, what's the point of Carlo Ancelotti? And I don't mean that having a go at Carlo.
No,
what I mean is, you've got him in. If you're bringing him in and then going, we're not going to give you any tools. There's no point. You may as well save yourself $9 million a year and give it to Duncan Ferguson, or pay David Moyes $3.5 million a year and have it, and go, Dave, we haven't really got much money, make good of what you've got. There's no point getting Ancelotti in and going, sorry Carlo, but only giving you this and we've only got this money, because we're not going to do anything, are we? So Everton have got to just go, right, this is what we're doing now. You aren't going to punish these teams who've literally tried to ruin football in this country. Then we're spending whatever we want. And then to let everyone else catch up. If your owners have got the money, have got the dough, they say they have. If they've got the money and they can prove it. I think
football's health anyway. The lower leagues need it trickles. It's a trickle down effect. I think that's if the Championship get players bought often by Premier League clubs. They'll then go into League One, then they'll go into League Two, they'll go into the Conference, and that's how it works. And I think that'll be good for football.
Defo. Dark Arts, I did read your skim fade. Said skim fade, lads, get in or something like that. It was early on, but there you go. It's Dark Arts made up with
Kamakiri in Edgbeth, J. Ahmed, great barber.
Yeah. All good. Phil Young says, have a clear out and keep Dom and Dean, get rid of the rest. Wormy Spoon says, Camavinga. And Anthony Young says...
Camavinga, 70 million.
All right, Baz, hope the squad will be ready for the new ground. Yeah, fingers crossed, mate. And Stuart says, where can I buy some Usmanov memorabilia?
In Kazakhstan. No, it's Uzbekistan, sorry, isn't he? It's
Uzbekistani. I mean, the flag is in the park end. Big.
If the Uzbekistanians got the money, he says yes.
Well, exactly. So, I mean, he's one of the richest in the world.
I bet he likes Germany.
Phil says, wish we could put Usmanov's millions into making a clone of Kanchelskis. Yeah, definitely.
God, imagine.
Right, thank you very much. That is us done. Give the thumbs up if you can. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Big thanks to Andy If you want more daily live videos, get over on Patreon. Me and Andy've got a video going on Patreon tomorrow, and they'll be on Patreon with us throughout. So take it easy. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure Toffee Picks is live now for the West Ham game. Play it. Why wouldn't you? It's free. You can win a share of 500 quid we give away every week for every Everton game. Toffeepicks.com. T's and C's do apply. Got to be 18. Play responsibly. Take it easy. See you later. Good night.
Ta-ra.